we're up there.
Yeah, when it comes to the Lakers, I think you're going to see Splitter going to have a lot more playing time because they're going to want to really match him up against Gasol. And,
Right.
you know, that's going to be, I mean, that's just a no-brainer right there. And these phantom injuries to Splitter, I'm sorry, I'm not buying it. Call it what you want, you know. I mean, how many rare, you know, injuries can one player have in a season? And it's definitely going to be the matchup for the Spurs Lakers. So expect Splitter to have. I think that's, and I've said this in earlier shows. You know, I think that's why they brought Splitter in with dramatic. Oh, it's just top way of playing chess. I mean, that's
right.
what he does. He makes these substitutions and he plays little chess moves and you know, yeah. So. Yeah, we'll see what happens. All right, well, we're just here and saying it's been along for the ride, so.
Exactly.
All right, well, you guys have to take my signal.
All right, well, you guys have a great night, and again, I'll be tuning in on Wednesday, I believe.
All right,
Wednesday at 10:30 right here.
All right, well, I'm over here still repping us in LA. I'm still alive.
Awesome.
We can hear about the past couple of shows, and we got worried about you.
No, actually, I was listening to you guys, and I was going to call, but I was like, I have nothing to say right now, so I was like, let me get some info, and I'll call. But, no, I listen to you guys, after every game.
Cool, bro. We appreciate that.
All right, well, you guys take care. Have a good night. All right.
Alrighty, that was an interesting call nonetheless, but Mike, definitely I do agree with what you're saying about Tiago. I'm not really buying it that he's injured. I mean, he doesn't understand the system. It took Manu, it took Dice, it took even Richard Jefferson a whole year to learn the system, and he finally did. And look the way he's playing now. But yeah, it's going to take every player is different, and we'll see what happens with Splitter. But we'll see how things go.
Yeah, and then maybe Samantha will be happy she'll see the Splitter more.
I would prefer Splitter the same for me. She is like literally gaga for that guy. I mean, it's crazy. Let's take another call, shall we? And let's see who this is. Hey, you're on Spurs Game Night React.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? It's Tom Spurs D. What's going on, guys?
What's up, dude? Going on, my friend?
Yeah, man. I just finished hearing you guys talking about the game tonight. Our boy Lewis, all the way from LA, always representing the Spurs very well. So shout out to Lewis. Also, just getting to this game, another exciting Spurs game. You saw everyone on this team step up. You saw DeJuan Blair, Gary Neal, Tony Parker, Matt Bonner, Monty Ginobili. Everybody in this Spurs organization team just showed up tonight, and they played Spurs basketball. There were times where the Spurs played a little lazy and lackadaisical on some plays where they get back to the game, but as far as the Spurs level of excitement, I mean, they just came out with a lot of energy, and I just really like what I saw out there. Although, DeJuan Blair, he got kind of excited on a couple of plays where Papa had to call the timeout. But, the guys have been doing really good. And, going up against the Phoenix Suns team, they don't have, some key players that just got traded. So you got to remember that. So they're going to come in and they're going to give you a good ball game even without those guys, Vince Carter and Gortat and the other guy that got up. I can't even remember his name. But, they're going to come up and they're going to give us the Spurs what they can get. So with that said, I thought the Spurs did a terrific job playing the Phoenix Suns tonight, and they did a lot of great plays tonight, and I expect them to continue to play like this as the season progresses. Obviously, the schedule is going to get a lot tougher, and like Lewis said, the way the Spurs are just playing, I really just trust them. Sometimes in parts of the games you think, they're struggling, like, what's going on? See, with the Spurs, as a Spurs fan, you have to remember this team does not panic. They do not panic. They understand what has to be done in order to get the win. They understand what needs to take place, what plays need to happen, and defensively, the Spurs know how to do that. And, you know, every time I see the Spurs kind of struggle, I don't freak out anymore like I used to back in the days, because now I trust them. I have that belief in them that, hey, you know, we're going to get through this. We're going to fight through it. You know, maybe it'll take a 20-second timeout or something or whatever it's going to take. But, you know, Pop puts it in the players that, hey, we got to play Spurs basketball. This is what it's going to take in order to get the victory. And that's what they did tonight. They went out. They played the Phoenix Suns. You know, they kept fighting. Despite, you know, some calls that went against them that were kind of like ticky-tack fouls, which I didn't agree with. You could talk about the fouls that were called, but, you know, other than that, the San Antonio Spurs, they just came out and played Spurs basketball tonight, Steven, and that's what I expect them to keep doing. And even with the Denver Nuggets coming up, that'll be another tough one. Obviously, with the back-to-back with the Orlando Magic, so, you know, the Magic, they got some new key players, although they lost to the Atlanta Hawks. So it's going to take time for these other teams to gel. But as the Spurs go in, you know,